Okay, today I'm going to go over a intervention technique called the overprotection treatment technique, or imagery treatment technique. The reasoning here is emotion penetrates much deeper than logic does. You should always make a logical argument, but if you want to be persuasive, you want to do a like a 1-2 punch almost. Like once they're convinced that that something is logically correct, you can drive it home emotionally by pulling emotional triggers, pulling emotional strings. The reasoning here, but this is a treatment technique designed to help parents of sex offender families, juvenile sex offender families. What they specifically found, and there's not a whole lot of research on it, but there is some that show that there's a pattern of overprotection in the families of juvenile sex offenders. So overprotective wives and mothers have a prevalence in young adult sex offenders. 80%, University of Minnesota study found 80%. And I think this is diagnostically significant. I think that environment, that the overprotective environment, is a major trigger for a lot of the personality and psychological disorders that create the conditions that cause criminal behavior, but also juvenile sex offender specifically behavior. Imagery triggers emotional understanding, which is much longer lasting than cognition. So you want to, people and men tend to think that, well, if I make the case logically, then they should just do it. The reality is, even if things make sense logically, we do things emotionally. These are the major motivators for behavior. This is how we remember things, and women especially are more motivated by emotion, for better or for worse. But we should just respect the way human behavior works and use both logical arguments and emotional appeals to create awareness, because awareness is a precondition for change, and this imagery is designed to just trigger deeply in a very memorable way the dysfunction of overprotection. So this is one imagery I created. There's a theme here of control, I guess, love and control, because in her mind, that, you know, the overprotective mother may be thinking that I'm this martyr, I'm this I've done this noble sacrifice. But in the reality is, this is a lot of the times it's fear motivated and it's control motivated. So, and this is the imagery here, but you know, you can figure that out. Here's an imagery I stole from the web, but more codependence. She's controlling, but she's also cut off. So this is more in person, I guess, clingy behavior. You can see love and control, another theme, another way to trigger it, love and control. And so another way you can do it is through a little bit of just drama and dialogue. So you have a cartoon here of a girlfriend, and this struck close to home for me because I had a girlfriend like this. But why can't you raise your self-esteem so then you can raise mine? So she's another form of control. So this is a it would feel like love, but lots of relationship experts would look at this and say, this is dysfunctional. You're connected, like in a general strong, healthy relationship. You're connected, but you're not you're still individuated. So these people aren't individuated; they're attached at the hip, as the saying goes. So that's another form of codependent love in a romantic love situation. This is more the mother symbolism, and very often she's using guilt. Like I know this was true in my own situation where, I sacrifice and sacrifice and sacrifice for you because I'm your mother and all this. It's really a form of control because this is more of an advertisement. She'll also do this to herself, which is destructive. I mean, this whole dynamic is destructive, and it's really understudied because it's seen as caring. On the surface, it seems caring, but the reality is it's kind of destructive. Here is Noreen is having a tough time coping with empty nest syndrome. So this is the dog walking the stroller. I like this imagery specifically for the sex offender family population, the single mother, the controlling single mother, I guess you could say. I sense that there's a undercurrent of what would you say, of infantilizing, you could say. So to give a 50 cent word, infantilizing, is she's trying to keep her son a baby, and by overprotecting it. But the reality is, so here's the baby. That's the imagery, but it's a Venus flytrap, and this is powerful. This, to me, when you get disorders and juvenile sex offender behavior specifically, to me this just encapsulates almost everything when you have an overprotective mother, and the death almost, and the destruction that's causing. Again, it's really under-recognized because on the surface it looks, oh, she's caring. But the Venus flytrap, that's the way the Venus flytrap works, is it's so sweet, right, to the fly, and he's flying in, but really the reality is it's his death. So a lot of times she's triggering the developmental death almost. And that's an extreme word, but it is a very important pattern that people aren't recognizing yet. And I really hope to study it a little more closely in the future. Love and control, another theme. The hook. I actually thought of this imagery with another past girlfriend, which is, it's the same imagery. You have the enticement of the heart, and it's just like a worm almost on a hook, and the fish sees this heart and bites down on it, and you have the barb keeping you. You not only have the puncture, but you have the barb keeping you in control. And that's really destructive. That's not really true connection. That's a fear-based connection, and it's toxic to not only the quote-unquote lover, but also the object of love. It's destructive. So this is another. You go back to the quote-unquote love, affection, bait, and then the control trap. So this is the fear-based barb snapping tight. This may appear like a superficial treatment of the subject. It is. It almost seems too easy to be therapy. It's too easy to be treatment. The reality is, these emotional triggers trigger things deep within us. We are basically seeing reflections of ourselves, and well, we can. So any kind of counselor can bring this up with an overprotective parent, just to give them something to kind of chew on, and something to reflect on. And with time, that seed kind of takes hold, and hopefully they'll dial themselves back a little bit from controlling to caring. Thanks for listening, and more on this subject later on.